Welcome to Fun with Flags with Sheldon Cooper.
Yay! I'm Amy, your co-host.
Okay. Welcome to Storyteller, where every episode is a new chapter of mystery, wonder, and the unexpected. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Teresa.
Do I have a story for you?
Ooh.
All right. In this next chapter of our spooky season series, I'm actually kicking the second episode in this month off with a little history lesson. She seems untrusting.
Snooze fest.
You're already tired. You're fired. We just ate the biggest meal of our lives at the Pickle and Ash in Stewart, Virginia, and sponsor us.
Also called the Tickle and Pickle.
No, they're not going to sponsor. Teresa can't remember the name, so now we all call it that.
Tickle and Pickle.
It's delicious. Like,
it was so good.
we had a dessert that was mind-blowing, but now none of us can walk, so, but worth it. And once again, we're recording live from the deck here in Southwest Virginia, in the Appalachian Mountains.
It's not live. You're editing. I
like
wanted to do a live version.
Maybe.
I wanted to mic up around the fire and do a live version.
We might do that, so we'll see, yeah.
Demanded. We're funny.
If we get even one comment, we'll probably just do that.
Can it be by anybody? Can I comment?
No, and you can't get your husband to comment either.
I'll get yours too.
I guess, yeah. So, yeah, where the mountains hum with ghosts and stories. Two nearby counties, Patrick and Henry, are named for the same man, Patrick Henry, as we covered in the last. Yeah, shocking. I know. Patrick Henry was basically Virginia's ultimate hype man for independence. He was a lawyer, a fiery orator, hopefully I said that right, and the guy famous for shouting, "Give me liberty or give me death. Give me a liberty." He was French. Loud enough to echo through history. He spent decades bouncing between gigs, House of Burgesses, Continental Congress, and the governor of Virginia, twice. Because once wasn't enough. His speeches were so legendary that Thomas Jefferson once said Henry set the ball of revolution in motion. Think of him as the founding father who gave America its first shove down that hill. Yeah, so Patrick Henry, you guys.
Go Patrick Henry.
When
old Pat.
Even when offered cushy jobs like the Supreme Court Justice or Secretary of State, Henry was like, "Nah, I'm good." George Washington himself had to coax him out of retirement later in life. But before Henry could make that comeback, he actually died in 1799 of something called intussusception. Essentially, what that super cool thing is that part of your intestine folds into itself. So, yeah.
That sounds painful. Oh my God.
Right? Oh my God. Yeah.
What causes that?
I don't know. Yeah. And there's actually a newfangled word for it. I didn't put it in here because the word they were using was just too much not to try to throw in there. It's inception, but intussusception.
Guess who has her phone with her?
Oh, she's going to check it out for us, you guys.
I am. Don't mind me while I do this real quick.
And while Patrick Henry was known for his passion for liberty, he was also a man of many contradictions, which obviously that's why we're talking about him today. And we'll get into that a bit more. But to understand the haunting connected to his legacy, we've got to start not with his fiery speeches, but with the woman history almost forgot. All right. So let's dive into who this lesser-known founding father really was. Wait, not Isaac Higgintoot.
Oh.
Sorry, Ghost fans. Had to bring that up. I'm always bringing it back.
Harry Potter or Ghost, one or the other. Maybe both.
Maybe. Patrick Henry was born in 1736 in Studley, Virginia. And it might be Studley. Again,
I like Studley.
I know.
Let's roll with that one.
Yeah. To a brainy Scottish father and a wealthy, well-connected mother. He skipped university but soaked up his education at home. His father drilled him in the classics, and his mother dragged him to fiery Great Awakening sermons where he learned how to work the crowd.
Wait, we were going to say fiery graves at first, so
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. And that skill became his superpower later on. He tried farming at first, but drought wiped out both his crops and his dreams. Luckily, his wife's dowry came with land, enslaved workers, because it always does in these times, and a tavern-owning father. Henry soon found himself running Hanover Tavern, fiddling for guests. When I was writing this, I kept trying, like in my brain was fiddling the guests. I was like, please don't. Swapping stories with travelers and rubbing elbows with another up-and-comer, Thomas Jefferson. Somewhere between pouring pints and playing tunes, Patrick...
somewhere between porn pints? What is a porn pint?
Pouring.
Oh.
Told you I need a speech pathologist. You're being so mean.
No, I really thought you said porn pints. I'm like, is that a spot? Like, did I tune that out?
I need some more clarification. Yeah. In between pouring pints and playing tunes, Patrick decided law was the way to go. After only 1 month of study, just the one, he passed the bar and launched himself as Virginia's lawyer of the people.
Oh.
Yeah. Henry made his first splash in 1763 during the Parsons Cause case, where he told a judge the king had no right to rule Virginians if he ignored their rights. The jury ate it up. They loved it. They were, yes.
Yes,
You
king,
know
let's
how
do this.
1700 juries were. They were like,
I'm not even sure there was juries back then, so
very
that's
quarterly
cool.
list, yeah. By 1765, he was in the House of Burgesses shouting down the Stamp Act and dropping his now famous dare. If this be treason, make the most of it. So he was like, if we're going to fuck with the king, let's go all out. Love that. In 1775, at the Second Virginia Convention, he delivered that speech, "Give me liberty or give me death." And it should be noted, the exact phrasing may have been polished by a biographer later, but the spirit was there. That was essentially what he was saying. But somebody might have shined up that
Just,
for
like, paraphrased a little
yeah,
bit. Like,
yeah.
He said a lot of words, but this was the gist of those lot of words.
It fits better on like the memorabilia. Henry briefly led Virginia's military, but was better with speeches, like talking to people and rallying people, than with strategy. He returned to politics, helped draft Virginia's first constitution, and supported Washington with men and supplies during Valley Forge. But Henry was a man of contradictions. He opposed slavery in principle, but then
had slaves.
And that comes up a lot with some of like our founding fathers. Sorry, that's spoiler alert. A lot of them
again,
are
I
doing
think
that.
that's that herd mentality.
I
like
think so.
Everyone else is doing it.
Right. They were like, well, I'd look like a freak if I didn't have anyone like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Like,
really
will
think
people take me seriously if I don't own other people?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
But I'm a good person, but I don't
Yeah.
want them to know that. Yeah. So he owned enslaved people. He opposed the Constitution, but helped inspire the Bill of Rights and turned down prestigious jobs repeatedly. And here's the part biographies tend to skip. He was married twice and had 17 children.
I was going to say, how many kids?
I don't mean to do that when I research this, but every story so far has been like, yes, too many kids.
So many kids.
So many kids. His first wife, Sarah Shelton, was his lifelong sweetheart. That's usually how she's described. They married in 1754 when he was 18 and she was 16. Which is too early to get married. But I realized, I know back then everyone was like, I had a long life. I made it to 54.
Yeah. People were dying like in their 40s back then.
Yeah. So yeah. They had 6 children before tragedy began to cast a shadow over their lives.
Did he kill her? He killed her.
I didn't say that.
Oh, but you had to look.
It's just where my face is. So, like,
resting, he killed her face.
I'm always suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
He's suspicious. Like so many women in history, there isn't a ton known about Sarah Shelton Henry, but what we do know is heartbreaking. Sarah, or Sally, her family called her Sally. I don't know why.
Okay.
They were just...
They both start with an S, so I'll go with it.
I guess, yeah. Was born around 1738 in Hanover County, Virginia. Described as having a pretty round face, dark brown hair, and deep brown eyes. She grew up in rural plains near Patrick Henry's family. So that's why it gets brought up that they were lifelong sweethearts. I think they had known each other their whole lives, and then... 16, yeah. So by 1754, the teenagers were married, likely too young even for that time. Patrick 18, Sally 16. Her father gave them 300 acres and 6 enslaved people as a dowry. I just hate that we're just like giving people.
Did he marry her for money and then killed her?
You're doing great.
Wouldn't be the first time.
No, it's always the husband.
Yes.
Well, we'll find out exactly how this all goes down.
He did his porn pints on his OnlyFans page.
He's obsessed with porn pints. His early farming attempts failed, and then the family moved into a tavern. The tavern that his father-in-law gave him these 300 acres like as a wedding present, and he's like, "Here, it's gonna be so great." I do have a working theory. It's never said this, but like the farming temps were awful. Like it was a tobacco area. They were growing tobacco there, and it went terribly, like right from the jump. And so I have a theory that the father was angry that they had married so young. So he's like, here's a shitty plot of land.
They just gave him really bad.
Yeah,
land, knowing that he was going to fail and not be a...
Mm-hmm. And so, he still had to take care of them after this, the father-in-law, but I feel like there was a little bit like, all right, I'll give you her dowry, but I'm not going to be nice
I really don't
about
feel
it.
like that's young for that time, though. Like,
No,
I know that you said that.
Definitely not him,
but
I don't think. Like, 18 seems...
18, her being 16.
Yeah, so, again, people back then weren't living nearly as long, but...
I had girls in my high school that were getting married at that age.
Oh,
yeah.
That was a long time, though, too.
Mm-hmm.
Time ago.
Done with this podcast.
You know, me being mean to you is how I show affection. I'm sorry.
No, poop on your pillow tonight.
No joke.
That's how I show affection.
Pink eye.
Fine. Get back to it.
We're losing.
This is not fun with flags.
So the early farming attempts failed, and the family moved above the tavern while Patrick was like, I'm going to get into law next month and I'm going to nail it. So by 1771, they moved to Scotchtown and had 5 children. And Scotchtown is not a town. That would be like the name of their estate, I guess. So
of their state?
Estate.
Okay.
Estate, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. And they had 5 children by this time. After their 6th, Edward, a.k.a. Nettie.
I like it.
I know. I was like, aw. Sally she began showing violent outbursts. And these were likely like severe postpartum depression or postpartum psychosis. And letters, like even there was a letter, I believe, from Patrick Henry's mother to like a sister-in-law that was like, we are worried that Sally has lost it after Nettie, like she's not coming back from that. But there was almost non-existent understanding of that kind of stuff. So anyway, she was not doing well after the birth of her 6th child, little Nettie. Letters described that she was losing her mind, she was despondent and sometimes violent. I have another theory that she was going fucking crazy because her husband was like, let's get you pregnant. Again and again and again,
and not helping with the kids.
Yeah, and then he was like, "I'm going to hang out with my bros."
Gonna go make some porn
Pints.
pints of porn.
I've got to practice law, Sally.
But that was just kind of like the norm back then.
It is,
though,
yeah,
and-
But I can't imagine that it was
Oh yeah, like,
easy for
mhm.
you know. So
And especially with the postpartum depression, no one really not knowing anything about
Yeah.
it, and
they didn't understand, so there was no support. Without that
Mhm.
understanding, there was no support. I mean,
it was just basically like, buck up. This is your life. You,
Yeah.
you know, you have these kids to take care of. You have
Mhm.
a household to manage.
yes,
So-
And it sounds like it was, the estate was on the edge of being a plantation, so there was a lot going on. And he's like an up and comer in this new country, so that's a lot of pressure on every front. So I could see getting a little despondent,
Mhm.
violent. So in 1773, Patrick's doctor suggested sending her to Eastern State Hospital in Williamsburg, the first mental hospital in America.
Back to the mental hospitals.
Or are we?
They work so well for everyone else.
So I know they've always a perfect track record. Patrick actually went and toured the mental facility, and he refused. He said, "I'm not sending her there." Yeah. He was horrified by the cruel treatments. They were chained to beds, filthy mattresses, windowless rooms, an absolute travesty. And he was like, "I'm not sending her there."
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Yeah. So, as I said in the beginning, he's a man of contradictions, because at the end of this, he'll be like, but I think he was very progressive for his time, but we'll get into that. Instead, Sarah was confined in a private space in Scotchtown's basement, as secret as possible to protect the family's reputation. So he didn't send her away, but he was like, "You cannot be seen anymore. Like, I am on this road to the top. I have this image. So I'm just going to hide you in the basement. I love you so much."
So instead of changing her like a mental hospital bed, he changed her to a bed downstairs and was like,
Yes.
"You can't be seen."
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So, and so there's a couple different reports of how exactly she was treated. On one hand, it was like I never saw anything that said she agreed to go down there, but maybe there was some understanding from her on her side, like, "Oh, I don't want to ruin your career," or whatever. And then even one of the older daughters like moved back in to help take care of her. But some things, like, there was a secret staircase built to the basement, so like the family could see her without like anybody else knowing. And so some things are like, it was for the best. It was lovely. She had sunshine and stuff. And other things are like, she was in a straitjacket for years, kind of thing. So there's very conflicting things about what was going on. But whatever.
So it wasn't the mistreatment that he was worried about at the mental hospital. It was like her, like, public knowledge of her being there.
Yeah, he never comes out and says that, but that's definitely one thing you have to wonder, if he was like, what if somebody finds out that my wife is in
Like, what is this going to do to my political career?
Exactly.
My solicitor study,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
So you can really look at it, because there is conflicting things out there about what exactly the line of thought was. Like, did he bring her home because he loved her and didn't want her to go through those things? But he also was like, "I can't let you out." So it's very much this like story of the times, because it's just awful the way she was treated and everything. I mean, she was put in this basement and was like, just shush. Yeah.
Honestly, someone could lock me in a basement. I'd be okay with that.
I know. If you give me some books.
I would just nap.
Yeah. Oh my God. I would love that, just for like 2 weeks or something. I'd be like, okay, I'm ready. Yeah. So they kept her in the basement as secret as possible to protect the family, but probably more
him.
Yeah. Some accounts say that she was cared for by a nurse and visited by families, and others describe her as forgotten and a prisoner in her own home. Don't know exactly which one it is. You can decide that. I'm just giving the two sides that but being locked away in a basement, either way, not shockingly, her illness worsened over the years.
Imagine
crazy.
so.
Yeah. In the last year of her life, she allegedly developed a strange antipathy towards her family, which, yeah. I could see being a little annoyed
Yeah.
with that. Like, I can't go outside, you know, like that's prison. Yeah. So, she finally passed away in the spring of 1775. Some say by suicide, though it's completely unconfirmed. Like, who knows what was going on because doctors were not taking care of her. There was like a nurse from probably an enslaved person from their estate that was taking care of her. No one ever like came and checked on her. And even if they did, what they'd be like, the devil has gotten a hold of her. That's how they just did things back then. So, but what really pisses me off, but sounds like it was pretty common for the time, is that she was buried in an unmarked grave.
Oh.
Which sucks. Like, you couldn't give her a gravestone?
Yeah.
Bruh. So,
Like, what's the story that he was telling people? Like, was she already dead? Was she,
yeah.
like, she just never left the house? She was like,
Yeah. She's a super antisocial.
Yeah.
That's what my husband has to tell people about me. He's like, it's not you, it's her. But yeah, so she's married in an unmarked grave, and I guess a lot of times if people were thought to be mad, they were given these unmarked graves. Like, what does that have to do with anything? Just lie why they die. You know, like give them a gravestone and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of things that I read said that
she's probably still buried somewhere on the property.
she
Wouldn't you
definitely
think, like, in
is.
the family,
She is
like, graveyard type of deal? Is
everything I read was that she's most likely under a lilac tree.
Aw.
That is close to the house and everything,
Yeah.
but still, like, you couldn't.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, but not surprisingly, even in death, it seems Sarah Henry never truly left.
Here she comes.
So, Scotchtown isn't just a house. It's a memory, a warning, a haunting. Ghostly stuff has been reported long before its restoration. So he actually didn't like stay there, which shocker. I probably would have been like, I better boot scoot after the.
Well, if I had someone locked in the basement,
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't
and
stay
then-
there either.
Yeah, gave him an unmarked grave. I'd been like, ugh, wash my hands of this. So he did move somewhere else, and then I want to say that the house went through some family members, and eventually just like fell into despair. Eventually, it was restored. But Patrick Henry's great-great-granddaughter refused to spend a night inside, convinced that someone lingered. So I think it was in there for a couple generations, and this granddaughter eventually started
It was like,
talking.
no, thank you.
And was
so
like,
when he
"Mm-mm."
locked her in the basement and he skedaddled, he took all the kids and everything with
Yeah.
him, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know if it went to their daughter next, but it was with the family for a couple more generations, and then it just was abandoned. So, passersby can see candles glowing in dark windows. Sometimes a figure is pacing with a flame, which, if that's her, like, go outside. Be free. I want to be
Can't
inside.
be her because she'd be downstairs in the basement,
exactly.
right?
Yeah. So, inside, alarm systems go off in empty rooms, and furniture shifts on its own. Cradles slide across floors, and tea caddies are displaced. So I guess she's just like, I'm just here to mess shit up now.
Yeah.
Like, if she is like trapped inside this house, it sounds like she is being a menace. Which, good for you, girl. Go off, queen. The basement where Sarah was confined is even stranger. The paint peels endlessly. Chains are said to be heard dragging across the stone in there. There's some cool sounds.
Was she locked in chains then?
Some things say that she
Possibly.
was. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then flies and wasps gather at one single window. And it sounds like it was the window, like the only window she had access to. And I just keep picturing like those little square, that was like in our basements growing up. Yeah. So
Honestly, there's probably not, like, it's probably like a bigger window, but it's probably like so far up.
probably, yeah.
That, like, all she could see was the sky.
Yeah.
That's what I picture.
Poor
Like,
Sarah.
just the sky.
Yeah. So, In the 1930s, Mary Adams and 10 children, they were like playing on the grounds for some reason. I don't really know why, but they reportedly saw a woman in a glowing white gown, and they were all ah, took off, like didn't stick around to get her information. So, and a caretaker, Alice Steele, described a presence so heavy that she dared not to turn around. So she, I think Alice is the one that was trying to get into the basement to go down. So there's one story where someone is, or maybe she was in the basement and she was trying to get, yeah, I think that's what it was. I think there was a storm. She had to go into the basement to get something, turn something off, turn something on. And she was trying to get back to the main floor, and the door was like, no. I'm not gonna. Can you imagine that in a storm?
And then she could feel like something behind her.
Yes.
She was like, I'm not gonna turn around. I'm not
Yes,
gonna turn around. I'm not gonna
and
turn
that's
around.
exactly. And she said, finally the door opened, but she's like, at first I was just. That is like paralyzing.
Yeah,
I
that
can't
would
even
be like-
imagine. It's a no. Yeah. So during a tour, because there's tours that go on now, there's, a whole tour group, and one of the tour guides is, wandering around.
Who owns it now? Like the state or?
I think so. I think it's some
Okay.
sort of entity. I don't know if it's the state or a federal thing, but yes, there is tours that you can go on. So there's this big tour group, and they're just learning about history, and a shriek erupted from Sarah's old rooms in the basement, and everyone on this tour is like,
Like,
I'm out.
I don't like history anyway.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Please refund my money.
Yes.
So if these disturbances are hers, they are a restless spirit silenced in life, and she's determined to be heard in death. R.I.P. Sarah. So that was a short one, but that was the story of not so much Patrick Henry. There was a lot going on in his life, but I thought it was so interesting to hear about his wife, first of all.
Yes.
Because a lot of times in
He
these...
didn't kill her, but he caused her death.
Yeah.
I mean, she was no better off in
He
the
didn't
basement than he
help it.
was at a mental hospital.
Yeah. So it just kind of protected his reputation, because
Yeah.
especially the area that we're in now, like he's a patriot. Everyone is very, I mean, the county we're in is Patrick. The next one is Henry. Like, it's everywhere. Everything is Patrick, or Patrick Henry, and I think that he did a lot of great things for our country, and he was loud about it, and he really like stirred people up. And, but you never, in so many of these cases, you never hear about the white guy's wife. You never hear about the women behind these men and what they were going through. And then
But these guys always seem like saints and everything because they're doing all this good and blah, and they all have like some crazy dark side.
Yeah. Like, do you know about Thomas Jefferson's like lifelong black wife, essentially?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and that's still a huge point of contention, because people are like, we don't know that she was consenting to that. And it didn't matter if she was, because back then they'd be like,
Because he owned her.
yeah.
So
So there's so many
he didn't
things
need
like
her
that.
consent.
Yeah. So, so I thought this was interesting because, one, I think that he did some great things, but you never hear about his wife. I didn't really learn anything about. He had a second wife. He got remarried.
Yeah, he must have had a second wife because
Yeah.
you said 17 kids. They had 6 together.
Yeah.
So.
So, and you don't really know anything about. And even when I was researching this and trying to find drawings, pictures, anything, like you can find lots of stuff. Patrick Henry. I found one thing that's supposed to be a drawing of Sarah, and I don't know if that's actually her. Like, it was really hard to figure out if that was actually her, or just somebody.
Yeah.
It was kind of tying her name to this drawing and everything. So that's so sad. Like, and then she died with an unmarked grave. Like, oh, so
We should go to the house and see if there's any paintings of her or anything.
yeah, something.
Let's not. You
You go
should
alone.
to the house. Not alone. You got a husband. Take him. Shout out to Casey.
Text me when you leave. Let me know what you found.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the story of Patrick Henry and the wife that he kept hidden in the cellar, because no matter what you think about him or anything like that happened, and his reasons before it. Either way, we don't really know. That isn't set in stone, but he kept his wife in the cellar. That's the bottom line. Sorry. And he, progressive for his time, maybe, but his treatment of Sarah was ruthless and tragic, no matter what. I mean, he was looking out for himself and his reputation. So
100%.
Yeah. So he may have helped build America, but I do wish more people knew, like, Sarah's story, her name, even, like, and then the sacrifices she made, and probably so many other women made in these times. I can't even imagine. So yeah, so that is the story of Patrick Henry. So sorry it was a shorter one, but it was very interesting to me. So I was like, we're gonna get it out there. So yeah. But thank you for joining us.
Oh, we done? Okay.
We're gonna go sit out by the fire, and we might bring these microphones and record it.
We're gonna mic up outside the fire. We say some ridiculous shit.
That'll be what gets us canceled. So hopefully we'll have some interesting stuff there for you guys. If not, then we'll do something else later on. But thank you for joining us. And
thank you.
Like, share, whatever, all that stuff. Make your friends listen.
Yes.
Yeah. Force them.
I'll buy you a drink if you do.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll Venmo you.